Today I'll be discussing the actual problem in Honkai Star Rail. And no, it's not the power creep since that's the player's fault. After all, the game gives you free supports like RMC to combat inflation, and V1.0 characters like Seela is still top tier. Global passives also aren't an issue. The only one in the game is just quality of life, inconsequential shits, and I'm very sure it'll stay that way. People think global passives will give stat buffs, but that just makes no sense in terms of lore and gameplay function. If a global passive gives speed, for example, the poet set will become totally useless and speed tuning will be ruined, so it just simply can't happen. That's why neither power creep nor global passives are the issue with this game. The real issue is something I've brought up over 6 months ago, the predatory marketing of some cancerous bosses in this game. 6 months ago, it was really bad, but some people still disagreed with me because they loved Fireflop. Even though that boss was made for her and served its purpose of deceiving players on Fireflop's true strength by inflating her damage, other characters can clear it just as well or even better than her. The only damage done was players making the wrong decision in pulling, since Firefly was already unable to zero cycle without her E2 on a boss with 1.2m HP the very next patch. What Hoyoverse did this time is far worse than just shilling a unit. It makes Squire look like peak game design in comparison. The new boss, Pollux, Netherwing Husk, Fairy of Souls, is so cancerous that you straight up cannot win without a healer. There is zero alternatives except for one which I'll get into later. You're basically forced into having some form of healing to win. This is extremely predatory as they're forcing you into a certain playstyle or else you're dead lost. It stifles the player's creativity and gives them no room to work with. To give you an example, for my waifu's only accounts, I have basically 38 limited 5 stars in total, 10 of which I bought because they're Akron related, and 28 obtained by F2P means. And I literally have no solution to zero cycle that Pollux boss, none, at all. That's because the only healer I can use with my restrictions is fucking Natasha. I could have used Linkshot if I had her, but why would I have her? Pulling limited sustains is the most counterproductive thing to vertical investment, so it literally makes less than no sense to pull Linkshot for me. So the fact that a boss suddenly requires her for me to zero cycle is impossible to predict. People know how good my intuition and foresight is, but this is something that not even the fucking Matrix from Shinzo could predict. It's too ridiculous. Who could have possibly thought that making the worst possible decision for your account will eventually be the solution to helping your account win? To put in perspective, the sheer scope of how predatory this boss is and how much it limits your options. Neither my 40 substats E6S5 Akron nor my 40 substats E2S1 Facial could zero cycle this without a healer. And guess what I'll have to do to remedy this situation? Pull Castorice E0S1 of course. I was planning to save for support, but that's no longer an option. Can't use most of her teammates, but I can use her as a healer for my facial to give her a fighting chance. I don't know if that's enough, but it'll have to work. The fact that a boss mechanic can even do this to my accounts goes to show how screwed up it really is. Because if an average account needed a new DPS to zero cycle, then that makes sense. But my account has already reached the pinnacle. I can literally one-shot a boss in zero action value and even zero cycle with a troll team comp. And yet a new boss's mechanic can fuck me over. That's how cancerous the marketing has gotten. There's one possible solution to a sustainless clear, and even that involves quite a few idolins and a full premium team. The solution is using Uglia. Since she full heal her garment maker, around 50% of her damage output will be unaffected, giving her a chance to zero cycle the boss without a healer. But the issue is you would need her full premium team along with idolins to stand a chance since you're doing half damage against a 5 million HP boss. Pushing the fact that I can't use Sunday aside, it's crazy. It's either you wail for a specific 3.x character's team, or you're forced to play by this one extremely rigid playstyle of using a sustained character, specifically being able to heal your team. I honestly don't care about how much they inflate the HP, but shitty mechanics like these are crossing a line. Inflate boss Kafka's HP to 3 million for all I care, just don't restrict my playstyle. As to why I'm so pissed off at this, it's not just this specific boss. It has been done before to a lesser extent, and this sets a precedent for it to be done in the future. Shilling a DPS is whatever, but restricting playstyle is to cancer. Imagine in the future they release a boss with a mechanic that makes all other DPS that isn't the new one weak or unplayable. What happens then? Fuck Hoyoverse for this. I rest my case.